Well, there's a legal way I can explain it, or I can explain the bad way. Okay, so the bad way was I owed 200 grand to a very bad guy. I take the biggest pay cut. I pay myself once every 2 months. And one thing that the Valley doesn't really have is influencers that actually show their community. This upcoming year, I'm gonna have everything upgraded to the next level. Yeah. It's all about improvement.
But like, how'd you get into like, I guess the niche of like coming to high schools and like glazing the other, like the highlights?
Why do you use the word glazing?
Just
like, see, that nobody wants to be on their deathbed or be 40 years old in a life that they didn't envision for themselves and be full of regret. Because strive to be is to be so valuable that your time is essentially money. You're not going to a place unless they're offering you big dollars. That's
What's up, Nopi fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Nopi Cast for your host, Oscar.
And Rico.
And today we have such a special guest, the one and only.
Well, my internet persona is J2, but my government name is Javier.
There it is.
Nice to see you guys, man.
Nice to meet you.
I have a question for you guys off the bat.
All right,
it's just, you know, how did you guys find out about me? How'd you contact me? I've never heard of your stuff beforehand, but then I did some research on, you know, your older podcast, and I had that question in my head.
Yeah, we saw you on TikTok. We knew about Archetype. We're fellow customers of Archetype.
Okay, awesome.
I mean, you're a dream guest, and thank you for having us at your shop. This great shop.
Yeah, I hope you guys like the scenery and all that.
Yeah, no, this is great. Shout out to him for letting us use the setup. It's great. And yeah, well, let's get straight into it. So everyone knows you as like the Archetype guy. How did Archetype come about?
Well, there's a legal way I can explain it, or I can explain the bad way. Okay, so the bad way was I owed 200 grand to a very bad guy. Okay. Nah, I'm just messing with you. No, actually, one of my best friends, straight out of high school, we were 18 years old, and it's at that time to where you really don't, at least for us, I didn't have the best plan. I grew up with some friends that were, you know, had a little bit more money than others, so they kind of knew, like, straight out of high school, it's straight into, you know, my parents' business, this or whatever, and that kind of left me curious as to what I wanted to do. And I went straight into the workforce. I went straight to the rigs. I did scaffolding for a few months, and then I swapped to solar, and then I stayed in solar. But right out of high school, my best friend was contacted by my now partner, and he was sold on this dream of Archetype. And then time passed by, I came back, and I wanted to do content, so I saved up enough money to buy all my camera equipment, and that's when my best friend recruited me into this business. And ever since there, it's just been on go. Like, truthfully, I think it was the best decision I ever made, was just going out of town, collecting my thoughts, knowing that wasn't for me, but actually having a plan and executing it.
Right. And I mean, so you said like your friend already had Archetype started.
Yeah. He didn't have it started. It was actually by one of my partners that likes to stay, you know, behind the scenes or whatever. I don't, unfortunately, can't name him, but he sold us on the dream, and he invested into our future. I mean, I look up to him as a mentor and somebody that I can really take inspiration off of, and he teaches me a lot, especially like your persona and how people perceive you. And there's a lot of stuff that I went into this game clueless on, you know, making relationships and knowing the outcome of something before it even happens. And I have to give him credit on that, because when I first stepped into this, I was a kid. Yep. Like, I mean, even right now, I barely turned 23, and you know, the little kids already call me Unc, although I feel very young. And it's all a learning curve. It's all a learning curve, that's for sure.
Was it hard going from the workforce to something that was just starting as a clothing brand? Was it hard making that switch?
Oh yeah, because I took the biggest pay cut of my life. This is the thing, bro. Like, people, at least down here in the Valley, as I was explaining the other day, I'd say at least 50% or more, once they get out of high school, it's straight into the workforce. It's straight into, I want to go do scaffolding, I want to do solar, I want to go work with my uncle, my father, or whatever it is. And then you get that first check, and you see $2,000 or more in it, and you get complacent. You're like, wow, like I can make this every day, every week. I'm going to be living good. I come home to my girl, I get her pregnant, and now I'm stuck. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we've been conditioned to believe down here in the 956, is to be a worker. That's what I believe most people are conditioned for. And I'm not knocking anybody that, has that mindset. I just grew up around friends that already had that business mindset that taught me a lot. Like, for example, you said Alan and Alec.
Yep.
When I was 18 years old, I didn't even know them until I started doing the clothing, and I met them, and they kind of put a lot of different perspectives into my head as well. But when I was working out of town, I was religiously just reading books and watching these specific YouTubers that put that thought instilled into my head of wanting to do more than just be a worker. I wanted to be my own boss, and everyone says that, but not everybody executes it,
Yes, for sure.
And I think what really changed for me, and I give gratitude to it, was COVID. I know you guys didn't have to experience all that, but during your high school years, but my junior year, going into spring break, we never went back to school.
Right.
Never. Like they canceled school during spring break because that's when COVID first started. 2021 year comes around, and we didn't even have a high school year. It was all online. So I technically graduated my junior year, and I got to give kudos to my mother every time I can, because I wouldn't have graduated without her. I had a 1.8 GPA in my high school, and the reason why is because I was just so hell-bent on school is a waste of time. I don't see school as my future. Regardless, my fallback plan is to work out of town, but I want to be just my own boss, and I don't view school as the way that I'm going to make it as somebody in life. And my mother was I was literally telling my mom, like, dude, I'm going to get a GED after high school. I don't care. Like, that's how I'm going to graduate. Like, it's a waste of my time. At that time, I was working out religiously because I'm going to be honest, junior year, I was 5'1", 5'2", 185 pounds, and I was obese. And at that time, it was when I really locked in. I was at my peak when it comes to, like, reading, for one. 2, working out 2 to 3 times a day. I was just so focused on other stuff, I never logged into class. My mom actually did all my work, and I graduated because of her, so I have to give her all my credit. And yeah, COVID was a different time, but it really allowed me to find myself and to know that what I want for my future is going to be a very tough road. So I know we ventured off a lot or whatever,
right,
but going back to what we were talking about earlier, when I came back after working, obviously you get complacent with the 2 to 3 grand a week. I took a major pay cut, and we were just like, look, we're going to go full on into this clothing brand. This is what we want. We want to make something that nobody's ever made before, and it's going to take a lot of delusion.
Right.
I mean, I have to be very delusional to make a clothing brand in the fattest city,
Yeah.
It's not easy, and it's, I love my community to death, but it's hard to make something where you shit and where you eat.
Right.
Because a lot of people think they know you, and they think they know of you, and they think they grew up with you, but they really don't. The only people that know me is my immediate family and my close friends. Other than that, you may have hung out with me, you may have ate lunch at a table near me, I may have seen you at the mall, but how do you truly know me? So
right.
People like to make these assumptions based off what they hear. Oh, my friend, since he's my best friend, he told me bad about this guy, so I'm gonna believe him instantly. And then word gets spread around, especially in a place that everybody thinks they know you because they grew up with your dad, or they grew up with your mother, or they grew up with your cousins, and they don't like your cousin. So they're already making this assumption about you based off people around you and based off what they've heard. So making something in your community is extremely tough, but it's not impossible.
Right. And what separated Archetype from every other clothing brand in the Valley? How'd y'all make it out?
Well, what other clothing brands do you really hear about that are Valley based?
That's true.
Most of them are, I know a few, I'm not gonna name them, but that I give my hat to, that they're actually, doing something well, but a lot of them have certain problems when it comes to what their end goal is. I don't know their end goal. Maybe they just want to be online based. Maybe they don't care about the community. They just care about making money. And yes, they're from the Valley, but at least when I do my stuff, I set it with my goal as in, I want to be known as that guy from the Valley. Obviously, I have my goals to go global, because you can't stay Valley based because your brand's never gonna grow no matter what you do. You can do construction, you can have a tire shop, you can make donuts, it doesn't matter. You have to have that goal of, it has to exceed just the Valley, if that makes sense. But I think we separate ourselves because we heavily involve ourselves in the community, and I give my hat to my community. I looked up to people when I was young, and then I see my neighbors that look up to me now, and I definitely don't view myself as a role model at all. To be honest, I'm not the perfect guy. I've messed up so many areas in my life, and I'm just trying to get by, and I'm trying to build something that nobody's ever done down here. And especially when we base our content, I started going to these football games because I took inspiration off of Destroying. I took inspiration off AJ Green, off of guys like that.
Yep.
And I was like, look, I grew up not the most athletic guy, but I'm making athletic clothing. And what do athletes like to do? They like to play sports. And I already have access to these schools. Why not go put myself out there and make content with it? We were already doing it for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
We just never put ourselves into the camera. We just made it about the players. And it's still always about the players. I know recently we've had some controversy about guys saying that I'm not doing things for the players. But these same guys are going to these football games or volleyball games and charging kids $300 for their services. I do it for the love of the game. I go for free. Yeah. And I make content and I pay my guys. I get paid less than every guy that works for me. I take the biggest pay cut. I pay myself once every 2 months. And that's not even a lot. It's just to pay for gas and utilities and, getting by and spoiling my girl once in a while. Like, my girl believes in my vision. And even then with her, I have to keep it private because people like to go and say stuff crazy,
Yeah.
People like to reach out, and I can't even bring her onto a live stream because you got trolls in the comments that are saying the most heinous things. You know how it is.
That's how social media is.
That's how social media is. That's why I keep a private life. I might put my internet persona out there, but my life is very private.
Yep.
I love cigars and I love whiskey.
Here you go. Yeah.
But I don't post that.
But how do you find yourself keeping all that stuff private? You don't find that hard?
It's extremely hard, although, and I've had people like that will like, oh, I'm gonna dox you, I'm gonna SWAT you and all that. And I just tell them, do it, it's great content. You know, no one's ever actually done it.
That is great content.
That would be great content. I was doing a live stream here when we had an event, and in the comment, some random guy was just chatting crap the whole time, and I never banned him because it's just so funny. Yeah. And he was like, I'm gonna SWAT you, like I know your business, just put in my address in the business. Go ahead. I was like, bro, we got a camera rolling, like let me know. I'm gonna make it as enjoyable as possible, but he never did. And I never saw him again. And I've had haters in the past that they are religiously talking crazy. I had this one guy recently that I actually had to ban him because he was like getting very personal, and I don't know to this day who it is, but he has my childhood nickname as his username, and it's a total burner, and you only know that if you know me closely.
That's crazy.
And I've never had someone attack me the way that he was doing, and I knew it was somebody that I've known since I was young. Yeah. Because they had 956 and then that nickname, and I was like, dude, I haven't heard that name in so long, and you have to really know me, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And he started getting personal, he or she, I don't know. It started getting personal, so I ended up blocking them or whatever. But a lot of the times haters will tell me stuff and I'll DM them privately. I'm like, what's your address? I'm gonna send you some clothing and see if you change your mind.
Oh, there you go. That's
and smart. It's the love of the game, bro. I love it. I mean, any type of hater is amazing because it boosts my engagement. Yeah. It's amazing. I don't do anything, at least that I see, that deems worthy for somebody to hate, but obviously you can't change people's perspectives once they made it up on how they view you. Yeah.
Well, I want to go into this. Off camera, you were talking about how you have big plans for social media. Do you want to talk about those plans? Like, what are your plans on growing Archetype's media presence?
It's not just Archetype. Archetype's an entity, and it's a business at the end of the day, and it's its own unit. When I was explaining that to you, it's more so for my personal name, because obviously Archetype's my baby right now, but your baby grows up and then you got to let him go. Okay. And currently right now, that's my main focus besides my personal platform, but my personal platform is the thing that's always going to stay with me regardless. And I mean, Archetype's going to get to a point to where I just have this person running that operation, that person, I'm overseeing it, and I'm not really in the limelight for the clothing anymore. So when it comes to what the future is for my personal content, is just expanding and doing stuff that nobody's ever seen down here. And I was explaining this to, shout out to Shattered Media as well. He's a very good friend of mine. He runs a very big podcast as well down here in YouTube, and stuff. But I was explaining to him that one thing that the Valley doesn't really have is influencers that actually show their community and are happy to be here. Right. You'll have those occasional like guys that stand out, like obviously like Grupo Frontera. You'll have maybe some athletes that go on to do big things, or whatever niche you're in. You know, you'll have those standout people, but there's never somebody down here that when you think of the Valley, you're like, dude, this guy's from there. That's how I know about the Valley, because this guy's from there. He grew up there. It's like Drake to Toronto. You think of Toronto and you're like, bro, Drake, Drake, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But the Valley is just so closed off to that. I feel like they haven't expanded their thought process on, you know, the internet persona. You go to San Antonio, you probably know somebody that grew up there that's, you know, at a big stage. You go to Houston, everybody goes to Houston to chase a dream. Everybody goes to Dallas if you got money, but nobody comes to the Valley.
Right.
Nobody cares about the Valley.
Yeah.
And it gets very overlooked. A lot of people make a lot of money and they get away from the Valley and they start bashing the Valley. They start saying, I hated growing up in the Valley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen that way too many times, and I'm just one person that I'm grateful that God gave me this spawn point here. And I'm excited to really grow off of it. I look at it like a Monopoly chessboard, and everybody wants to hit Park Place, because then now everybody wants to make deals with you if you hit Park Place. All of a sudden they're offering you the greats. They're offering you all the light blues, but you got the dark blue. If you know Monopoly, you play Monopoly?
Yeah, I play Monopoly.
Yeah, if you know Monopoly, you know you get Park Place, everybody's your friend now.
Yeah.
They're like, hey bro, if I land there, give me 2 free skips. I'm like, hey, don't work like that, cough up the money. You know what I mean? But when it comes to personal content, the only way that I grow is if I keep making original ideas that nobody's ever done.
Right.
And I don't want to get too deep on that, but for example, the market down here for videographers and photographers is already getting extremely oversaturated. So many people want to do that now. So many people want to go to the games. 2 years ago, nobody was there. You had the occasional guys that you grew up with, but not everybody has a camera. Everybody wants to be on the sidelines making money and all that. And we used to do the chain thing that I'm sure you've seen before.
Yeah, we've seen the chain.
And we got so popular with it, they had to ban it from every district down here. We can't give it to them once they score a touchdown.
The Archetype chain is banned?
They banned the Archetype chain. They actually told us at the beginning of this previous season, they told us in the summer, they're like, hey, one of the AD called me, and then he was like, hey, we just had a meeting. They're banning your chain from you giving it to a player. You have to give it to them only on the sideline part if you're going to give it to them. And I was like, okay, well, why'd they do it? They're like, they think it's a problem. No worries, whatever. I don't want to get on the bad side of, like, you know, the committee or whatever. And then we went and made this one video with Ethan Guerra, where he ran into the end zone. He had my football gloves on, and we were following him with the camera. And man, they called me the next day and they told me I was banned. And I was like, well, why am I banned? That video blew up overnight, 200,000 views.
There you go. And
I was like, hey, I'm putting on for this guy. He's gonna get looked at. And that's the one thing I always wanted, was to put on for the guys down here, because they never had a platform.
Yep.
No athletes gets looked at down here. Nobody gets views down here. Nobody cares. The only guys that are really doing stuff is the photographers and videographers. And even then, they're only going out to make money. I'm going out because I love the game, bro. Football is my favorite sport. They sent us an email actually first, and at 6 in the morning, I remember it was 6:07 in the morning. You're banned for 2 weeks, and I was like, bro, next week North's playing Flower Bluff. Like, how are you gonna ban me, bro? Like that's what I'm here for. Like, that's the game we've been praying for. And they were like, well, if you want to talk about it, come see us in person. And they just told me pretty much just better luck next year. And I was like, dude, like, you know, I looked at my views and I was like, dude, I'm generating you guys 2 million views a month for just your district. Like, I felt it was very unfair, but there was nothing I could do about it. They didn't want to uphold it. But I guess that's the price you pay when you make a clip like that, and you have, as far as what they told me, countless of parents complaining that we were being reckless and we were there for our own motives and to push our own brand. And I just felt it was unfair, because even that video alone, yes, it pushed my gloves. We still haven't even made the gloves. It was just because we made prototype gloves and we gave it to him as a gift. I don't even have those gloves no more. He still has them. And we just wanted to put a platform for these guys. So yeah. I feel it's very unfair, but you know, people at the end of the day are always going to complain about something because it's unique and it's new and nobody's doing it. So they're inside their heads, it's like, what do we do? You know, like, he's doing something that I don't like, so I'm gonna go and complain to the district. And even the AD, he was nice enough to tell me, he's like, look, man, like, you know, I have to just look after what the majority decision, and they're in favor of, you know, not having you come back because they view you as a reckless entity, if that makes sense. But it's very political, and I realized how political it gets. At the beginning of the year, at the beginning of this previous football season, I didn't know how political it can get until, you know, you're on the field and I take one step on the green and they're like, hey, we have new rules for you. You have to stay on the track. And I'm like, whoa, this is how it's going to be? But I just have to, I can't bite the hand that feeds me at the end of the day.
Yep.
Even though like many ADs and many different people around the valley have been trying to like stop you, I guess you could say, you express yourself a lot with love towards the valley. Is there any reason behind that?
I'll tell you this. Number one, it's not the ADs at all. It's the parents that call in. So maybe somebody doesn't like me. Maybe there's just somebody that just hates their own life and like they just see a guy doing something and they just want to like complain about it. But at the end of the day, there's always those specific individuals. It's never the AD who's like, I don't like this guy at all. The ADs just have to listen to what, you know, the community is saying overall. Even if the majority like wants us there, if there's those select few that are complaining, they just have to stop the complaining. And you can't blame an AD on that. But when it comes to, you know, why I view the valley so high, is because I grew up here. I'm loyal to it. Like, I'm loyal to my community. I grew up, I was the first house in my neighborhood, and as the houses, you know, came to be, my neighbor was a starting QB for Raiders, and I grew up looking at him when I was in 6th grade. And I was like, bro, that guy would train my brother, and my brother was growing up as a quarterback. So I would be there catching the passes too, and that guy would throw me dots. When I catch him, I'd fly back at how hard it was. And I had like 4 different neighbors that they all grew up to play for the Bears. One of them played at Raiders, which was the quarterback. And I grew up on like looking at these guys, and I was like, I want to be just like these guys, you know? And now I have my neighbors that are growing up that have been there for a few years now, and they're all in the middle school age. They bring 15 other friends and they come knocking on my door, and I think I'm about to get jumped. And they're like, hey, come outside. And I go outside and I'm chilling with them for an hour or two, and I'm giving them my clothing straight off. I'll take my shirt off. I'm like, all right, keep this one. And like, dude, they're hustling me. But it's fun because it's the community.
Yep.
And their parents are calling me because I post a video about them, and they're like thanking me so much because like these kids look up to us. And it's like, how could I not want to do more stuff for my community? A lot of the times we donate and we keep it private. People didn't even know we donated to the Raiders. They thought they bought. They didn't. We donated 3 sets of uniforms. We're donating a 4th next year because they brought us, Kaufman himself was our tester. He said himself, like, we'll be your tester school. Like, you guys haven't done jerseys. We had never done jerseys. We barely started doing that 2 years ago. We actually made the first mock-ups when it was Ale was the QB. Maybe it was 3 years ago. But Kaufman said, we believe in you guys, and we'll be your tester schools, and you can make jerseys for us, and we'll see how it goes from there. Right. So we made the jerseys for them. We debuted it. We marketed it very exceptionally well. And after that, we had this district calling, that district calling, this district asking Kaufman, you know, how did the jerseys hold up? None of them ever ripped. None of them ever, you know, did anything bad. Obviously, there's minor tweaks that we're fixing for the future, but it was a tester. It was our first ever jerseys that we debuted, and we could have completely embarrassed ourselves if day one, first game, it comes in and they all rip.
Yeah.
But we took that chance and we put our credibility on the line and we executed it. Yeah. And after that, it just, you know, it's like a pyramid, you know, it just started stacking up.
Mm-hmm. And so you said, like, after the PSG North giveaway to them, was that other brands were hitting you up and they bought from you? Or not other brands, other schools, I mean? Like,
I'm going to take a quick sip real quick. Yeah, so by the way, for any boy or man that's out there watching this, I strictly, besides water, of course, I really only drink black coffee. It is probably the best booster that you can have for your everyday life, and it kills your hunger, so you're able to go throughout your day as a man. So if you need to get your work done, your job done, don't eat in the morning, eat later on, at least after 3 p.m., and you should be fine. Just drink a lot of coffee so your hunger is not there. But even then, if you're hungry, the beautiful thing about being hungry is you have to move. You can't stay still because you feel too hungry. So you have to be on the go and doing X amount of things. So that's why I like to feel hungry.
No sugar, no,
I don't.
Just straight black?
I don't consume sugar.
Oh, okay.
At all.
You started your series with the like the
30 day.
Yeah, the 30
yes,
day.
the 30-day challenge. It's something that hasn't been done before. So week 1 is just strictly gym workouts just to get my mind into it. Week 2 is going to be basketball.
Okay.
I mean baseball. So I will be doing with a few select athletes. They'll be running me through their baseball drills, and I'll be practicing with them. Excuse me. Week 3 is going to be basketball, and then week 4 is going to end off with football. So I'm doing all different sports with different athletes around the valley.
What school are you going to do football with?
Football, I'm going to do it with Malachi from Westlaco. Although if you recommend somebody from Sherryland, I mean, you guys play football. I can go out there for a day if you have a field.
We can get some
Okay, we'll lock it in. We'll lock it in for week 4 then. I can go out there for a day. I'll bring my cameraman and we can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a challenge to challenge myself. Number 1, obviously no drinking, no smoking. I don't smoke at all. Only cigars.
Okay.
But no drinking. I do indulge in drinking, although I'm cutting it out for the 30 days. And it's to test my mental state, just to even see if I can do it. I know I can, but it's also still just to test yourself, to your willpower. And then content reasons as well. I think it's just a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And no one's done it like that, you know.
Yeah,
involving different athletes, different sports.
From the community.
Yeah, from the community.
Always the community.
Exactly. It's always, to me, it's always a community.
Yeah.
One day I'll move away and I'll come to the community less, although, like I've told people, it's like church. You know, I'll always give a percentage back to my community.
There you go.
Always.
Yeah. And right now, when it comes to like your personal brand, you focus a lot on the short form content. I know you do live streams as well, but are you gonna start transitioning to long form content soon? Maybe on your YouTube?
The trickiest thing about YouTube is that I don't have time to edit my videos, which is why I've been religiously looking for an editor. If any of you guys out here edit as well and you're very good at editing, hit me up.
We also need an editor.
So. Yeah, hit me up. I can pay. But I've been looking for an editor for the longest to help me out, because YouTube, I mean, it'll take me like 8 hours to do one video because I'm very picky. But I just haven't found anybody that that is my taste. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's going to be on my channel. People are going to think it's me who's editing it and taking all that time. So that's what I'm looking for right now to really boost my engagement. But YouTube is my long-term goal, and longer form content. Obviously, by the upcoming football season, it's going to be YouTube video after YouTube video weekly. That's something we weren't able to do. I have every football game that I went to, I still have all the raw files that I'm going to edit on my own in the summertime, and I'm going to make a little series just leading up towards the football season. So
this sounds fire.
Yeah. So that'll be something good. But come this upcoming year, I'm going to have everything upgraded to the next level.
Yeah.
It's all about improvement.
Yeah. And how'd you, like, you said earlier that you would watch Destroying and them to get like, and that inspired you, but like, how'd you get into, like, I guess the niche of like coming to high schools and like glazing the other, like the highlights?
What do you use the word glazing?
Just like,
see that
a little glazed, no?
See, glazing is like definitely a new term, although I've always viewed it as giving respect.
Yeah.
You know, I know like the kids like to use glazing, and they use like a lot of these. I say the kids even though I'm only 23, although like now I feel like I could really say the kids, because there's a lot of stuff a lot of terms that come out, like, I'm not even gonna say those specific 2 numbers that are back to back, but I don't even understand it at this point, bro. I feel like I'm getting too old now.
Yeah.
But I've always viewed it as respect, and people were always like, why are you so energetic and why are you glazing this guy? And I'm like, dude, would you like me, like, how would you guys like it if I go to your game and I'm in a bad mood, like my girl just broke up with me?
No,
how would you like it? Would people want to see content like that, or they want to see energetic? Oh my God, this guy just did that. Like, that was crazy. No way. Like, why would I go to a game looking like I just got broken up with? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
You have to give them like attention and energy and be on your toes. Nobody would want to see a guy who's depressed going to these events at all. It's your character. It's your persona.
You do a really good job, like being a hype man and everything.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, that's what you have to do.
Yeah,
that's what the kids are interested in, bro. Yeah. Like no kid. I mean, even if you look at all the streamers are always energetic. They're always in a good mood, and I have to pride myself on doing that, because when it comes to football season, that's my most important days, which is Friday football games, because that's where I see the most community. That's where all these kids are coming up like, yo, J2, what's good, blah, 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 blah. Bro, that full day is obviously preparation in terms of like, okay, cameras are charged, cameramen are good to go, SD cards, whatever. But dude, like when I wake up, it's straight to my backyard. It's an ice bath. I'm smoking my cigar and I'm getting my head in my zone. To where when I'm at the football field, I'm not stuttering. I'm not ooh, ah, and like my voice is bad, or I'm in a bad mood. I have my phone on silent. Sometimes I leave it in the whip, and I'm just there in the moment, making sure I execute what I need to execute. Yeah. Awesome. I pride myself on being able to execute very well.
Yeah, and you being there at these games, I think has actually played a big role on these high school athletes, because they're motivated to actually play better, to be making bigger plays, and I mean to look forward to something after their game. I mean, you recorded my touchdown. Like, you guys should go actually buy from the merch as well. Like, he's a great guy, and I think it's like helped you a lot too.
The thing about it as well is I never promote my clothing out there at all. Like, you guys can tell for yourself. If you see a clip of me hyping up some dude, I've never once said, oh, and go buy our clothing. Yeah. I might be wearing it, but that's it. I've never once promoted it. I'm promoting the athlete. And then I've had recently some controversy to where guys are deleting my logo, and they're going to my events, and they're like, I hosted a event with the Vipers, and they go out there to my event, and where I spent almost $7,000 on the event itself, on the promotion, on the clothing, on my cameraman, on being there, and they go to my event and then they go back afterwards, and they're only there to take money off of the kids that hired them, and then they leave the event and they post these photos, and all the photos have my logo edited up. And to me, it's complete disrespect, and you're not just hurting yourself, but you're hurting your future reputation with other businesses, to where I start reaching out to these businesses and I'm like, hey, watch out for this guy, because he came to my event and took my logo off. He might do that to you. Yeah. Like, why? I don't understand what the logic behind it, and I feel it's very disrespectful. And to me, it's ridiculous, because I've never even sat down and had a coffee with these guys. How do you know me? Like, what did you hear? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand where the bad blood comes from, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be friends with everybody. Yep. But going back to what you guys were saying, I forgot the initial question. I'm sorry. I kind of just...
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I kind of just go off the rails a bit.
Yeah, that is a big thing in business, don't you say? Like, getting, other than that experience, have you had another like backstab in business, or would you say that's just one experience?
Well, what backstab can I tell you? Obviously, you hear the occasional rumors about your business, and then you go back through text messages, and then you're just like, that never happened. Right. Or, stuff like that. People always say one or the other things. I mean, I can be with my boys out and about. Maybe we go to grab a drink, and all of a sudden, some person that doesn't like me says I did something, and then they spread it to their friend, and that friend spreads it to this person, and all of a sudden it becomes some big drama. You know what I mean? But on my end, I have to very much watch over everything that I do. Like, I have to be careful. I mean, dude, I'm at a point right now to where somebody could be wearing a wire on me, and I don't even know. And they're out, they ask me a question, and I look at them a little funny, like, why are you asking me this when you already know the answer? It's like, you have to look at it from a business perspective, as in, is this person out to get me? You can't be too paranoid. Obviously, I wouldn't be like that around my best buds or whatever, but sometimes a guy who, you never know what someone's motive is, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's not like we're doing anything illegal, but you never know why someone might be asking you a question, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll give you guys this advice right now. Just be careful about your digital footprint. I think that's the number one thing you have to really be careful about, is who you text and what you're texting about. And if this person is truly your buddy, you might have a falling out with them, and all of a sudden they're leaking messages. You never know.
No, yeah,
you got to be very careful.
Yeah, this channel has definitely hurt our digital footprint, not gonna lie. But we've done some interesting things on this channel.
But that's young kid stuff.
Yeah, it's
not like you're out there bashing a race or anything.
No, mainly embarrassing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like, it's all good. We focus a lot on like keeping our digital footprint clean. Yeah, because we're also in high school.
And you also do sports.
And we do sports,
exactly.
Of course.
Yeah, and coming back to how you help the community, and like how you've really inspired high school kids. Like, I remember when we heard that you were gonna come to a game, and we were all excited. We found out you weren't allowed to go, but it was.
Mr. Adame, let's talk about it.
Hey, we gotta get him onto the games. That'd be awesome. Like, to just have you there, like.
And I will say one thing. I have to credit one specific district, and it's definitely Raymondville. I think when it comes to the smaller districts, that not necessarily have too much coverage that go out there because they get overlooked because they're so far away and they have less population. But bro, every time I've gone to Raymondville, their community shows out. Yeah. I mean, their head coach, shout out to Coach Littleton, and then their athletic director, they've treated me like family. Yeah. I mean, Littleton was the one who invited us, and he didn't even know if we were gonna go. And then their running back, shout out to Trayshawn Washington. That guy hit me up weeks before, like he hit me up a month before. He's like, hey, this game, we're playing our toughest opponent. This is like, it's gonna be packed the house, pull up. I get there, everybody treated me like family. They introduced me to the athletic director. He was like, hey man, we're so excited for you to be here. The little kids in the stands were like crowded. I'm talking 60 deep, going crazy. We're throwing clothing to them. They're going nuts. They're like fighting each. I don't know if you've ever seen The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. When Jordan Belfort throws that watch and they're fighting for it. That's what it looked like. Ooh. But these kids were amazing, and they never expected us to go out there. And I live 50 minutes from Raymondville, but making the drive out there was completely worth it. It was just awesome. Yes. So when I wanted to go to y'all's game, sadly it was turned down because I know you guys had an incident with a motorcycle. The guy who drove a motorcycle on your field.
Well, I don't even know about that.
That was Pioneer. Well, anyways, it was at Pioneers, but they shut down any new people going to y'all's games. Yeah. Oh.
What the heck?
Yeah, a guy drove a motorcycle on your field like very late at night, and they cracked down on security because of that. Damn. And that's ultimately why they didn't allow me to go, because they didn't want to allow new people that they didn't really know. I don't blame them on that. I said, okay, that's fine. But I would like to go next year, so any head coach or Mr. Ahmed, let me know.
Yeah, Coach Crow, get him.
Yeah, get at me.
Some field access. Yeah, but yeah, that would definitely be awesome to have you there. And now let's
Why did you guys start this? Like, what made you want to start a podcast?
I wanted to start a podcast because I thought, like, I want to focus on short form content because we have a lot of long form content, but we want to use the podcast to like post just a lot of clips.
What, do you clip this up?
Yeah, I try to clip them up.
Okay, here's what I'm going to recommend to you. You keep a notebook by your side, or maybe even a notes tab on there, and whenever you find a segment that you like, you'll also have to have a timer whenever you start the recording.
Right.
But whenever you find something juicy that you like, you look at the time, write down the time. That's what I do with my streams. Is I write down the time every time I find a subject that I like, so I can clip it up later, and it's easy to find instead of having to go through the whole clip.
No, I always go through like the whole video.
Okay, well yeah, that way you can have you can break it down into segments, if that makes sense.
Clip. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Now you've been super great hospitality. Like, shout out Archetype, guys. Like, if y'all, the link in the description for Archetype.com, I'm assuming.
Yes, sir. Archetypeathletic.com.
There it is.
Or if they'd like to visit in person at 519 East Nolana Loop, Pharr, Texas, 78577.
Fire graphic tees.
Graphic tees.
Yeah, these are fire.
Shorts in the back.
Yeah.
Studio.
The athletic clothing that y'all got is it's amazing. How come y'all went into athletic clothing rather than like streetwear or something like that?
Streetwear is where we're starting to get into. Although we've always been athletic since the beginning, since we first started. We started off as people don't know this, but we started off as a MMA jiu-jitsu brand. That was the beginning stages, and then
I think I've seen.
Yeah, and then we transitioned to wrestling, and then we transitioned into what we're known for mainly today, which is shorts. Yeah, that's what we were known for years ago, and now we're getting into the windbreakers, and we're getting into the quarter zips, into the long sleeves, short sleeves. We're doing everything now. Yep. You need me to make you a couch, I can make you a custom couch. It's gonna cost, but I can make you anything. I can make you pillows if you wanted to, so whatever. But that's what we were initially known for, and streetwear is a very specific niche. That's that's a whole different ball game. So we stick to the basics. We stick to solid colors right here. We have different styles, different materials depending on what you're gonna use it for. But we'll eventually get into more streetwear styles. I don't think we'll ever go the anime route where people do collabs with anime. I genuinely, sorry out there, I have a distaste for it.
Distaste for anime?
Not like anime. I don't clown anybody that does it or whatever. I just personally don't watch it at all, and I don't ever see myself watching it.
Yeah. Well, anime stuff.
The only anime I've watched recently is just Invincible. Only because I've read the comics, so I really, I'm a big comic nerd, so you can get me on that. I'm a nerd when it comes to comics. When it comes to Marvel, DC, one-off storylines like Invincible.
I like Naruto. Naruto's good.
See, I've never watched it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I wouldn't never clown anybody or anything, because who am I to clown somebody? I like stuff that people will probably view as weird. You know what I mean?
Like
What's something weird? What's something weird that you think that?
something weird you're into.
Weird?
Yeah. Or so like a specific type of food you eat with something weird, like a condiment. Like, that doesn't happen to you?
I mean, something weird that I do is I sunbathe naked. Actually,
Isn't that
I get
a
a
thing?
full body tan.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have a good enough property to where nobody would see me. But
doesn't that raise testosterone?
yeah,
Sending your
it definitely will raise your testosterone. Getting vitamin D, it's probably at least I view it the most important vitamin that you can get in your body. But I do it for spiritual reasons.
Okay.
So I'm very big on my spirituality. I just keep it very private. I know people will be like, "Oh, are you Christian and Catholic?" And I just always tell them, like, that's my private life, and I just don't like to, get into that or whatever. And then you'll have the occasional person that's like, if you love God, you'll like to talk about it. I'm like, dude, if I talk about it, then people are gonna go and spin my narrative. It's just, I keep it out of the business. I just keep it within my personal family.
Okay.
And all
But it
that.
doesn't, like, when you're sunbathing, like, it doesn't burn, like, your butt or something?
I don't get.
You don't get red?
I don't get red. No, I get tan.
Oh, really?
My
okay.
body is so used to it that I used to get tan, but I've already built up an immunity to it.
When you go to the beach, do you
I
participate?
get tan. I don't get burnt.
No, but like, do you like sunbathe naked at the beach or not?
Nah, that's something I keep to my personal and to my chambers, man.
That's valid,
to my
that's valid.
house.
There are some naked beaches out there. Just,
Yeah, and then I know you guys can probably tell right now that I talk with a different vocabulary compared to the camera. Camera, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of dumb myself down a bit, and I talk like the normal Gen Z person will talk. But I like to read a lot, so I try and raise my vocabulary. Sometimes I mess up on my words. I'll say the wrong word, and then I go back and I watch the video, and I'm like, dude, why did I used the wrong term, thinking it was you're supposed to use it for something else.
What are some books you recommend for people trying to get into business?
Business.
Yeah, business specifically.
Okay, so there's two genres that I only focus on, to be honest. Number one is that I tip my hat to that I read the most was philosophy.
Yeah.
And number two was psychology. I think everyone says the occasional Think and Grow Rich and stuff like that, which it's a very good book. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I think the number one audio guy that I listened to, I think his name was Napoleon Hill, and that dealt with a lot of philosophy. Whether you believe in manifestations or not, I believe in it, because ever since I started believing in it, I think my life changed for the better.
We've discussed a lot about your personal life, social media. Social media and Archetype, but I want to really get into like your personal life a little bit. How would you describe your social life?
Dude, I used to be a big delinquent.
Delinquent?
A delinquent, that's how I like to say it, because that word is just, a lot of people don't even know the word delinquent, and then it sounds funny. But I view my younger years as just being a complete delinquent. How would I say that? Is just, I was not serious about anything in my life. Like, honestly,
Okay.
I would mess up in every realm of my life. I was a big smoker, which I do recommend for anybody that does smoke. I recommend you try without it and see how much your brain clears up from all the fog that it induces. Some people will defend it. They'll say, like, it doesn't do that, blah, blah, blah. I believe it does.
Right.
If you're very productive with it, though, then, I mean, by all means. But if you're already very unproductive and then you do smoke, you're only, like, hurting your chances of being productive, to be honest. It tends to make you a little bit lazy. But when it comes to my personal life, I tend to focus on the business now. I really don't have fun anymore. I know during the football season, I went 6 straight months without leaving the Valley because we were just so focused on our new drop coming out, our manufacturing side, making content for the clothing and making deals with this person, that person. We had UTRGV now. We had all the high schools. I was making different content than I've ever made before. And it was a lot of, just work. And even now, I just solely like to work. And I'm grateful that I'm able to do it. The only time I really mess off for the weekend is when my brothers are in town. And they're rarely in town. They're only in town like one weekend every month and a half, 2 months now, because they both work out of town.
If you don't mind, how many brothers do you have?
2 older brothers. Three older brothers. I'm the youngest boy. I have one younger sister that just had to take the spotlight from me. But I have 2 older brothers, 3 older brothers. 2 of them work out of town. And whenever they're here, bro, I like to just take a weekend off and have some fun with them, maybe a day or 2. But even while I'm out out with them, bro, I take my computer everywhere with me. 'Cause all of a sudden, I got this guy calling me, hey, I need this. I got this guy like, hey, bro, can you give me a quote on this? And I'm at Oak with everybody drinking around me, and I'm there with my computer just.
Well, that's what it's
And then
about.
sometimes my girl's just like, can you just pay attention for a little bit? I'm like, bro, hold on. Like, give me 1 second. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And, you know, sometimes you'll get the occasional, like, can you just be in the moment? And it's just like, I'm here. I'm in the moment, but, you know, I have this
take care
work
of this.
side, like, that I got to take care of because I got people that are counting on me. If not, my employees, like, hey, bro, what do I do here? Or my cameraman's like, hey, bro, are we scheduled for this? Or, you know, can you help me out with this problem that I have on Premiere or whatever? And then I got my manufacturers like, hey, I need this so I can give you the right amount. Then I got this coach who's asking me this, and it's just nonstop, left, right. That really doesn't allow me time to breathe, and we're only getting busier because I'm starting up my second company, and it's just. We'll get into that right now.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's a lot of work, but I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely blessed to be in the position that I'm in, and I only prayed for it. Like, I was depressed when I didn't have stuff going on. And now I have 30 billion things going on, and I'm in the happiest state that I could ever be, and I only want to get busier.
Yeah.
I want to get so busy that they have to contact my my assistant. And then my assistant has to tell them, well, he's booked for the next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want right there, is to be so busy that people have to pay for your time. And then I'll look at the guys that I look up to, like one guy that, you know, maybe you like him or you don't, because he's tending to get more controversial. I don't like him for the controversy. I just like the advice that he gives. Is a guy named Patrick Bet-David.
Yeah.
And you have to pay 40 grand for an hour of his time. And people are like, who pays for that? The people that can afford it. You think he's charging 40 grand because like he thinks he's that guy? He's charging 40 grand because he's so valuable that there's actually people that pay for that. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You got a guy like Ben Shapiro. I'm not saying I watch him. He's a very controversial guy too. But that guy charges $100,000 just to speak at your event.
That's crazy.
That's where your words are so powerful.
Yeah.
That you charge 100 grand just to show up. That's ridiculous right there. That's where I want to potentially strive to be, is to be so valuable that your time is essentially money. You're not going to a place unless they're offering you big dollars. That's an insane feeling right there.
No, yeah.
Not everybody will strive to be there, and not everybody has the work ethic to even get there. But it's definitely a goal of mine, and I like to dream big, and I like to execute big as well.
Yeah. That's a great quote right there. I like to dream big and execute big.
Yeah. Don't quote me on that if someone said it before, but I don't know. That was off the top of my dome.
You said second company. What second company are you looking
Yes.
into?
So me and my partner were sitting down 2 days ago, and I stay up very late.
Right.
I used to be an early bird, and now I'm a night owl. Like, everything I do, every good idea that I have is 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Wow. Everybody's asleep. I'm in my room with my 3 monitors right here, and then my laptop on the side. And
So what time do you wake up then?
dude, I mean, if I need to wake up, I'll wake up. Like, tomorrow I have an event because I'm gonna partner with the Boys and Girls Club. So I have to wake up at 8 in the morning to go to their event. I don't mind waking up early. Like, I can go on 1 hour, 2 hours of sleep. I wake up, I down 2 cups of coffee real quick, and then I still
Where's the coffee?
put this one full to the brim, and that's my daily
coffee?
drink. It's all coffee. Would you like to try it?
I'm good.
You gotta try it now.
I'll try it.
8 p.m.
This is black coffee right here.
Just straight coffee?
Black coffee only.
Dude, this is so much coffee.
I have a very big tolerance for coffee. It doesn't really get me going unless I drink
That's
a lot.
black coffee.
Would you like to try it?
Nah, I'm good. I'm sorry.
Come on, he tried it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta try it.
I'm not gonna peer pressure. But yeah, I can get up if I need to, and it really
I feel
doesn't.
energized already.
It really doesn't affect me until like later on in the day, especially because I fast every day. But usually when I wake up, it's around 10 o'clock. And even then, I feel like I'm cheating myself because you already had the coaches that are up since 6 o'clock and they've already texted you and you're responding hours late. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Coach Crow wakes up early.
Exactly.
He always talks about
If you're a head coach or any coach in general, you got to wake up extremely early.
Yeah.
But we sat down 2 days ago, and we've seen a lot of these marketing companies out here that, you know, are charging an arm and a leg for extremely easy services. And I'm like, dude, I have almost $30,000 worth of camera equipment. Why don't I just make my own marketing company?
There you go.
I've
That's
already
smart.
have experience with working with marketing companies because I used to do that full time. Excuse me. But I was like, why don't I just start up my own, and it'll be a completely different entity, and you know, I can do practically any niche. There's certain niches I wouldn't get into, but I'm not going to consider it a marketing company. I'm going to consider it a production studio. A studio, because I can do more than just your average run and gun guy with a camera.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the next business venture, is just starting up my own studio.
That's awesome.
And being able to do various different niches to where if they want to hire me for X, Y, and Z, I can do it. And it doesn't even have to deal with my logo or my clothing. It's just my second business venture.
Okay. Yeah. So you, like, for example, like if someone wanted to start a podcast, you could have your studio where someone could come in?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. I could have my studio to where someone comes in, which we already have. We're building another studio as well, to where that'll be like the sole focus is just podcast, and I'm building an in-house thing right here, which is going to be on that wall for photography.
Okay, that's awesome.
So this is where I'm going to now be doing all of my product photos. Instead of having to pay somebody else, we were just like, let's just spend money and build our own in-house one. You can call up an athlete and just be like, hey, come stop by for a quick 30 minutes. His camera's already set up in its place. Lighting's good. He just puts on the clothing, products, makes a nice face, and good to go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just maximizing my potential. And even then, parent wants photos for his kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I see this photographer's charging $300 for 10 photos.
Yeah.
And I'll charge you half of that. And I'll give you double the photos. Come on in. It's just about maximizing our growth and putting more money on the table for my in-house photographers, my in-house videographers. I've instilled this idea into them, is you stay good with me, you stay loyal with me, and I'm going to put food on your table. Yeah. And the more money that I make is the more you're going to get paid. They get paid more than me, and I've made that promise to them, and I've showed them my bank account and my bank balance, and I showed them how much I paid myself, and I showed them my pay stubs. They get paid more than me. Right. And the only reason why I do that is because I want them to stay loyal to me and to know that as we grow, they're going to continue to make more money, and I'm going to continue to bring on opportunities for them. I have my main cameraman that has been loyal to me since almost 6 months, since I've needed a full-time cameraman. Shout out to Andres Photography. He's been my right-hand guy, and shout out to his parents' company, Anzaldua Bell Bonds. And shout out to my sponsors as well, to F&P brands. If you guys need any Dairy Queen or any Schlotzskys or any Cinnabons, go ahead and hit them up right there. But they helped. Even my personal sponsors, they allowed me to get free Dairy Queen for a year.
Wow. There you go.
One person a week. So we decided to give it to the athletes, and it was something that was dope to go out and give them a big check, and for them to be like, what? Like,
yeah,
I've
awesome.
only seen this on the TV. You know what I mean? But going back to my photographer, he's been loyal to me for the longest, and I told him, I was like, look, bro, I'm gonna do everything in my power to put more money on your table and put more food on your table. And if you stay loyal to me, I'm gonna stay loyal to you.
Love that.
So that's just what we do here at Archetype, and it's just a character. Not everybody's gonna do that. And I'm not giving kudos to my character, but we have a long-term vision, and I need my guys to stay loyal to me. And at the end of the day, everybody, you got your family to feed. At the end of the day, I got mine, and I can't keep you here if someone offers you something I can't offer you. The only thing I can tell you is, my integrity, my character is never going to change, and if you're with me, you're going to be treated like family.
Love that.
And that's it.
Yeah, it's very important, especially in business.
But at the end of the day, this is what I had to learn.
Right.
And I had to sit down with my best friend, and I had to sit down with somebody that I view very highly and I've grew up with. And shout out to Espino's Tire, shout out to Isaac. And he told me, he's like, you have to differentiate your friends from business. And when you need to put your foot down, you put your foot down, and you don't feel bad about it. And that's what I had to realize, was when I was trying to put my foot down with my guys, when someone would mess up, it hurt.
Right.
And sometimes I would go too easy on them, and then they would make that mistake again. And he was like, look, they're going to continue making that mistake until you really tell them and you hurt their feelings. Yeah. And not in a bad way, but you're not going to criticize them in their personal life, but you're going to criticize them in what they're doing wrong in your business, and to instill into their head to never do that again. Mm-hmm. And I had to realize, okay, we might be boys out of this. We can share a drink together, and we can go have fun together or whatever. But when you mess up, you're gonna hear that you messed up. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I had to learn, is to take the friendship side and act as the the president and act as the boss. And that's something I had to learn because I didn't grow up as my dad owning a company or whatever, but I had to learn it. That makes sense.
And just to wrap this whole up here, as a high school student, anyone watching this, like, what would you say is your last piece of, like, if you had to give someone your last piece of advice, what would you tell them?
I think my favorite subject was the subject that I said with Shattered Media when we were filmed 2 days ago. He asked me a question. He's like, "Is college a scam?" And I can't give too much advice on high school because I never went to high school. I don't even remember anything of high school because I was even when I was there through my freshman year to junior year, bro, we skipped all the time. Like, I am not the best role model. That's why I tell people I'm not a role model. Like, I just found myself in that position. Like, I didn't go into it knowing like I was the Captain America of the school. I wasn't. People don't even remember me. They're gonna go through their dude. It was so bad that when I went into this specific class, my third and fourth period, they would clap when I walked in.
Oh my gosh.
That's how bad it was. They're like, nah.
It was a miracle.
They were like, he came in today.
Yearly appearance.
Exactly. Like, they were like, it's snowing in the valley. Like, it was that bad. That's how you know it was bad. That's how you know. And he asked me, is college a scam? And I said, it's very hard to say that. Although I can just give the perspective that worked for me, or I can give my perspective. I think if you're very set in stone on what it is that you want to do, like let's just say you want to become an engineer because you see yourself at SpaceX and you love rockets and you want to do this or you want to do that, and you're so bent on that idea that this is what I want to do and I take genuine excitement in it, by all means, go to college, do that. But we're in a day and age where there's 95% of people don't even want to go to college. They're just forced to go because of their parents or because that FOMO of not becoming somebody, or they're scared of what this person is going to think of them. And all of their friends are going out of town to college, so they might as well go too because they don't want to miss out on it. And they find themselves, most of the people don't have the parents who have the money to pay for it, so most people get into debt to go to college, and now they're stuck with this degree, and now they graduate from college and then they can't even pay for it and they can't even find a job. So now they're doing this part-time job or full-time job that doesn't even have to deal with their degree, because the degree that they got might be psychology or it might be a nurse, and they have no place that's even hiring that degree right now. Or maybe that degree is only paying them $15 an hour, and I have my master's. I spent 7 years in college to get my master's, and I'm $90,000 in the hole, and I can't even find a job that's paying me what I'm worth. You know what I mean? To me, that's where I view the scam is. And back in the 50s to 80s, 50s to 2000s, I believe it definitely was worth it. Everything was cheaper, and you go to college, you become somebody, and you're dressed very nice compared to how everybody dresses now, and you were actually becoming somebody off of it, and you were able to buy a nice house with a wife and have 4 kids and then grow up and then die, and you became somebody off of that degree.
Right.
Now we're in a day and age of social media, and you can become somebody off of anything, dude. I go on YouTube and I look at the For You page on YouTube, and somebody is making money off of
random
eating food. You could go and just get a mic right next to you and do the ASMR. That's the word I'm looking for, and they're making millions off of it. It's ridiculous. So if they could do it, why not you?
Right.
Why not me? Because I'm from the valley, and because it's a 95% Mexican population, and we have a lot of people that have that worker mindset. I'm supposed to be conditioned to believe that I can't become somebody. No, I just don't believe that to be factual, and I believe in my headspace that I can't view an alternative. I can't view my life 10 years from now, and I'm not everything that I'm setting myself out to be. It just doesn't process in my head, and I will not accept an outcome to where I don't become everything that I envision. Seriously, I believe it's very dumb when someone comes to me and they're like, how are you sure? Like, how it just hasn't happened? Or someone will say, like, why do you say that you're going to be the best at what you do? And it's just like, you're already instilling negative thoughts into my head because you don't believe it in your head. I'm not saying don't surround yourself with that person, because a lot of people say cut off those friends or whatever. Don't cut them off. Why not change their perspective? Why not instill into their head that they could be whatever it is that they want to be in their life?
Yeah.
And it's too late for me to be an astronaut, so I'm not going to focus my talent on becoming an astronaut, but I'm going to focus it on what it is that I want to be. And to answer the question of, is college a scam, and to give the advice out there for the high schoolers, if you believe in your head that you have this idea, maybe you want to pursue gaming, maybe you want to pursue this, pursue that, maybe you need to have a part-time job and then on the outside pursue it. I mean, when I couldn't even pursue Archetype full-time because I had to have a job on the side, which I had to go work out of town and then come back and pursue Archetype. As long as you have that long-term goal and you're actually working towards that goal, then there shouldn't be a reason why you don't execute it if you believe wholeheartedly 100% in your head that that is your long-term goal. Because there has never been a person in history that doesn't achieve their long-term goal that was 100% serious about it.
Right.
All the people that didn't achieve it was because they weren't 100% serious about it. If you're 100% dedicated to it, how could you not achieve it?
Yep.
How? Because if you're that dedicated, you will spend day in and day out and 10 hours a day to that purpose. You'll be at work, whether you're working at whatever job it is. Dude, my first ever job was a bakery. I worked there for 2 weeks, whatever. My second job was at Roadhouse. I worked there for a year. And I was in the back room at Roadhouse reading books. When I worked out of town, when I did scaffolding and all that, on my lunch breaks, we had 30 minutes to an hour lunch breaks, I was reading books. I was watching YouTube. I was watching Iman Gadzhi. I was watching Sebastian Gorju. I was watching all these guys that were instilling into my head on becoming better. Controversial take. I was watching Andrew Tate in about 2021 is when I first heard about him. There's a lot of stuff people don't agree with him on, but I look up to him in certain aspects. He instilled that thing into my head, like my dad is not getting younger. And when I was young, I thought my dad was invincible. Now he's deteriorating slowly. Like his body's not the same, and you know, if he takes one fall, they might actually put him out of work for a while. He just had his surgery on his knee because he actually did fall, and it hurt him in a way that I didn't think my dad was going to get hurt in, because you think your dad's invincible. Cue the title card. But I give credit to my father. Closing statements, I give credit to my father. I'm grateful to grow up in a suburban area, and people make fun of suburban kids, but I'm very humble about it when it comes to where I grew up, because I'm not going to say, I grew up from the slums and I came from nothing, because I didn't come from nothing. I had a dad who provided me a very beautiful lifestyle that allowed me to come back home, and he knew I took a pay cut, and he knew that I wasn't making the X amount of money. But when he saw the return, when he saw my neighbors coming to my house and like knocking on the door, like, yo, Archetype, come out. And when he saw my videos blowing up, and he had his friends reaching out to me and saying, bro, we love what your son's doing, he was all for it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And to closing statements, my dad, my mother, I give gratitude, and I thank you guys for everything that you were able to provide for me. And I didn't have to go the college route. Mm-hmm. Whether you go the college route or not, as long as you put your mind to it, you want to be a chef, be a chef. If you want to pursue content, pursue content. You guys want to do a podcast, and that's what you want to pursue for your future, so good luck.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
If someone comes up to you, or if you get a hate comment, I don't know if you have any hate comments yet, or kids in your class that clown you. Yeah. I'm sure you have those occasional guys, your football buddies, because football is ruthless. Everybody's going to clown everybody, but don't let it get to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I've sat down at night, and night times is where it really gets to me, to where someone tells me a hateful comment, and sometimes I just want to rip or throw it out. I'm not going to lie. And sometimes I sit there with my Twitter fingers, and I really want to just tell them something, and I'm like, let me just chill.
Just chill.
Let me just chill, yeah. And then I'll just heart the comment and forget about it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it gets to you. So you guys have each other's backs, the guys in the back as well. I pray that you guys always have each other's backs, and if you want to make this thing go global and you want it to be something, then I fully support you. And if you ever need advice, I'm here for it.
Appreciate
and
it.
Don't ever let someone give you advice that isn't where you want to be.
Yeah.
I only take advice from someone who's ahead of me. Like when it comes to my clothing, I have guys who are from Houston and from San Antonio that have given me advice, and I won't ever take advice from someone who's from wherever, and they're like, your clothing's crap, and you don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, dude, you don't even own clothing. How would you know? Like you've never even been in the position that I'm in. Or when it comes to my camera equipment or podcasts, why would you listen to somebody who doesn't have their own podcast?
Right.
It doesn't make sense because they're not where you need to be. But if someone that is where you need to be, and they're critiquing you, you better listen.
For sure.
You better listen, and you better not have that ego in your head to where you can't listen.
Yep.
Ego is your number one killer, but you also do need ego to progress. My ego is I want to burn my enemies, and I want to be that guy. Why can't I? So that's everything.
Appreciate
Sorry,
that.
I know I'm a yapper, but
No, it's all
that's
good. That was
everything,
great.
brother.
That was great. And I want to say something real quick. You were talking about pursuing your goals and your dreams. I mean, most of our audience is high schoolers and stuff. If you have a dream and you have a goal that you want to achieve and you think that you don't want to take that risk, right now there are no risks. You're living under your parents' roof. You're going to school. Like, we don't have any responsibilities right now. So if you want to make content or you want to do anything, like, just pursue it. And like right now is the best time to pursue it. That's what we're doing. We're pursuing it as much as we can right now. And yeah, that's my piece of advice.
And the biggest risk is not taking the risk, because then you live a life full of regret.
Yeah, for sure.
And nobody wants to be on their deathbed or be 40 years old in a life that they didn't envision for themselves and be full of regret, because that builds a resentful, a hateful person.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be that. And I've made so many mistakes in my life. I've been arrested for bullshit. I've been in this place. I've been obese. I've been a druggie. And all of that I don't regret, because it made me into the person that I am today. But if I never started where I am, if I never started pursuing the clothing or saving up my money for my camera equipment, I wouldn't be here now. And I think of it like, dude, if I didn't take that risk, I'd probably be in a life that I hated.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to have taken that risk. It's scary in the moment, but once you start seeing the growth, dude, you love it. You fall in love with the grind, the passion. And it feels scary, but it's scarier to not do it.
For sure. And hey, that was a great podcast, man. Dude. Honestly.
Oh, the left-handed handshake.
We got the mic on the right hand.
Take the no, you got to take the mic off. That's
No,
just
right.
awkward, man.
You're right.
You're right.
You're right.
There you go.
My bad.
Yeah, overall, I mean, the clothing is amazing. The testimony you gave us, everything that you provided, the information, the tips. We want to thank you for your time and for having us here at your Archetype studio. Amazing words. We appreciate it a lot.
Yeah. Great hospitality. And guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. And if you guys have any guests that you want to see, you want to have J2 back on, we'll for sure have him back on. This is great hospitality. And link in the description.
No, next time I'll have you guys on mine.
Okay,
How about
there
that?
you go. I love that.
I'm building my podcast stuff, so once all my equipment comes in, we'll have you guys on.
Oh, for sure.
And I'll interview you guys this time.
Ooh,
We'll have
that's
it
great.
more showing that football players.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect. You can even bring your boys that can sit in the background or whatever, but that's gonna be something. All right.
There you go. Yeah.
Perfect.
Like, subscribe, Nopi out. There you go.
Pound it, noggin, see ya.